All right, everybody, here we are, you and me, another day in the Freak Show, and it's about to get freakier, but maybe in a good way. Let's talk, you and me. So it is Tuesday, December 21st, 2021. Overnight, stock markets around the world rebounded, and well, it appears that our market is about to rebound as well. Look, yesterday this what's going on lately is very obvious to me, and it should be to you. And it's not stopping. They're calling this the Omicron wave. Omicron wave or moronic wave. It's a wave. And it's sweeping the world. And we're all going to die. Oh, yeah, that's what our president said. Sickness and death is about to hit, well, America over the wintertime. You can't imagine a bigger fear campaign than that. When you have the retard in chief explaining that we're going to die, all of us, and you better go out there and get that booster, you know there is something else going on here, people. Anyway, with that said here, look, like I said, we have been witnessing a fear trade, and it's propaganda, it is distractions, it's don't look here, look over there. The Federal Reserve blaming COVID for surging inflation, which continues to skyrocket with no end in sight. Look, they're gonna try to throw all kinds of bullshit at you. So be ready for it, and I know you are. If you follow this blog, nobody has a better perspective on this than you do. That's the truth. Anyway, with that said, yes, so a global stock market rebound. Not just that, crude oil too. Crude oil is catching a nice bid. It's up about 2.5% pre-market. Bitcoin's about 48,000 again. Gold and silver catching a bid. Look, like I've been explaining to you people, we're not going to stop. We're not going to deviate from our strategy. You and me right now, we couldn't be in a better spot. And I've put all of you in the right spots for years. And we're just sitting pretty. We are sitting pretty. We're going to capitalize on everything thrown at us here, people. It's very, very simple. So continue to own large cap stocks that pay dividends. You know I like the banks, especially right here. I went over this yesterday. JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Bank of America. I think you should own these things every single Monday. For those of you that do subscribe to my free newsletter, link in the description of this video, I'm going to fire out some stock suggestions to you and how to play these things. So again, subscribe to my free newsletter, okay? Anyway, let's talk about economic news here. So we found out this morning, and this, again, no surprise to you, the U.S. account deficit, which is basically the balance between the trade of goods and services, now hit a 14-year high with no end in sight as well, people. Debts and deficits are going to continue to surge. It's the nature of the beast, the nature of the debt-based economic model. But we're doing great. We're doing fantastic. Our economy is cratering as a percentage of GDP at its fastest pace in freaking history. But we're great. We're doing so fantastic. But watch for the Omicron wave, because it's going to come and get you. Yeah, ex-president retard. And the propaganda ministry. They are pushing that narrative. But I think, look, like I said, this was a fear trade. And fear means opportunity for those of us that aren't little babies who are going to go run into a corner and suck our thumb. All right, that's what they think we're going to do. No, you and I, what have I been telling you? We don't rattle. We look for opportunity, and when people get scared, they make bad decisions, and you and I are going to capitalize on those bad decisions, period. Period, the end. You get all these freaks on, this is it, the market's going to crash, Bitcoin's going to zero, and you can't make it up. They're all retards. Anyway, let me talk about a few other things here. With regard to this Omicron wave, moronic wave, well, the United States is going to deploy troops, to help stop the spread of the virus. Oh, I thought troops are supposed to fight armies. You see, what they're really doing here is they're setting this up. This is the next step, their next phase. in more control. So they're going to use the COVID scam, okay, to take more of your liberties and freedoms. They're going to use U.S. troops to do it. And oh yeah, and it gets worse than that too. In Europe, of course, they're going to be doing the same thing, and they're looking for more ways to curb your freedoms as well with regard to this Omicron wave. They're talking about more shutdowns, more curbing of travel, public gatherings, all this kind of stuff. It's all about limiting control and taking control over your life. And I mean, really, they're going to deploy U.S. troops here in America to fight COVID. You can't even see the damn thing, okay? And make it up. Make it up. But again, what else would you expect? Be ready for anything here. You're going to see troops standing on corners, holding rifles, getting ready to fight COVID. No, they're getting ready to fight you, okay? And those of us out here who are refusing to comply, we are not going to comply. There's just no way. We need a freaking revolution, people, in this nation, around the world, okay? We are witnessing things that we've never seen before. People are surrendering. They're throwing their hands up in the air. Fear is being propagated to a very high degree. And they're going to continue to push that narrative to control people, to make people afraid. When people are afraid, they actually ask to be controlled. And that's the vast majority of people, especially here in the United States. Because here in the United States, well, most of the population is retards. Okay, I think you all understand that. Around the world, people are not as stupid as they are here. Yes, they've been dumbed down too by the current agenda. Central banks here running the entire show. We have no representation anymore. I think you all know that. But expect things to get so out of control relatively soon. And again, no one expected, apparently nobody expected Omicron, except you and me. We knew that was coming, and there's going to be more. They're going to milk this to the nth degree. And then when this is getting done being milked, they're going to introduce another variant, okay? And more control, more troops, more lockdowns, more shutdowns. This is a means to an end. This is the central banks fulfilling their goal. That's all this is, people, okay? Again, we have no real government. We now have a one world government run by the central banks. That's what we have here, okay? This literally has become a new world order. A new world order under the rule and guide of central banks. That's it, okay? And their goal is to control you in every way that they possibly can, to take away your freedoms, to take away your liberties, to make you surrender, to make you afraid, okay? See through it all and you will wake up. Hopefully you will wake up to what's actually going on here, people. But again, look, these kinds of situations here, and this particular one is obviously very unique. And with unique situations comes unique opportunity. And that means, again, if we understand at its core, look, I'm a financial guy. I'm a Wall Street guy. You all know that, okay? More specifically, I'm an equity derivatives guy, but I have a pretty good handle on what's going on throughout the financial markets here. Telling you to buy Bitcoin when it was around $3,000 and now we're at $48,000. Explaining to you how important it is to bet against this debt. Become your own central bank. Realize what they're doing. The central banks are not done inflating by a long shot. And the lies and the propaganda about tapering, I exposed this. They're not tapering anything. Okay, their balance sheet continues to balloon the Federal Reserve. There will be no taper. There will be no meaningful rate hikes in the future. The Fed is not done fulfilling their goal of being the lender and buyer of last resort, to own it all. And it's not just the Fed, it's central banks working in concert to fulfill this. This is why there are central banks, hundreds of them all over the world. They got a stranglehold on us. And all they're going to do is inflate the debt. If we understand that their goal is to continue to inflate, you tell me. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand this. Where do you want to be? You want to be in a unit of debt, like a piece of fiat currency? You want to own debt? You got to be as high as a kite. You must be an anti-debt units, meaning physical gold and silver and yes, cryptocurrencies, and you got to be in this market. and taking advantage of it. It's not going to stop, okay? All of these people still calling for a market crash, they're retards. Yes, we're going to get one at one point, but not yet, okay? I don't think there's a guy out here who studies the market dynamics to a greater degree than me. And we have the MMRI, which I'm telling you, it's not a standalone tool. Understand, there's a lot of people, look, oh, the MRI is this, the MMRI is that. The MMRI, the Mannarino Market Risk Indicator, is one tool among many, okay, to gauge risk. I think it's the best tool that's introduced to gauge market risk in the last, God knows how many years, a century. I have no idea. All I know is it works, okay? By gauging market risk and understanding the current environment, what central banks are doing. This is a global takeover here. They're deliberately inflating. They're going to cause the hyper bubble in debt to inflate to a greater degree, a much greater degree. Okay, debts and deficits, like I just said, the U.S. account deficit at 14-year high. Trade deficits, everything connected to it. This is not by accident. Everything you're witnessing is by design. Okay, it's an elimination of the entire middle class on a worldwide scale. It's about control. Troops gonna fight COVID. You're gonna fight Omicron. Troops, really? Is that what you signed up for? You all know that. I was a lieutenant in the freaking Navy, and if I was called on to go fight Omicron, I think I'd laugh my ass off. Okay. Anyway, people, look, you know the situation. It's not what it seems to be, and everything here is directed, it's about control to an extreme. And people are surrendering by the millions on a worldwide scale because they're being made to be afraid. I warned about this. I've been telling you about this for years, and I want you to be ready for what's coming next because you haven't seen anything yet with regard to control mechanisms, fear, propaganda, distractions. This is some kind of a dystopian, kind of twisted thing that's going on right now, people. But if you think you've seen it all, again, and if you have no clue, and if you're a member of the middle class, you're literally being exterminated. And what are you doing about it? You're probably surrendering. Not those of you that follow this blog. You know exactly where we're going. All right, look, love you a lot. Please share the video. I'll see all of you later. Epic.